We are counting down to Sunday when AIDS Walk New York returns fully in person.
This year, the ballroom scene will be on full display with a big performance at the end of the event. CBS 2's Aundrea Cline-Thomas got a sneak peek at the preparations and some insight into how it all began.
Ladies with an attitude, fellas that were in the mood. Don't just stand there, let's get to it. Strike the pose, there's nothing to it. Go, go, go.
The House of Juicy Couture is preparing for their AIDS Walk New York performance. But long before Madonna, voguing was a mainstay in the underground ballroom scene in New York City. Luna Lewis Ortiz was drawn to it as a teenager in the 1980s.
Finding ballroom also gave me the nerve to kind of show off a little bit about, that pride that I am a gay man, young and living with HIV, and what's wrong with that?
The community, considered chosen family, established groups known as houses and staged dance competitions. It became a lifesaver for so many LGBTQ people, often shunned by outsiders.
I was able to connect and talk about what I was going through, and some of my elders who would become my gay parents, we call it gay parents, gay families, they were able to help me.
Diagnosed with HIV at 14 years old, at the height of the AIDS epidemic, doctors said Ortiz only had 2 years to live and sent him home, literally preparing for death. Ortiz said he found his voice in photography.
I thought I was gonna die, and so I wanted my family to have, nice photos of me before I go, or before I became the faces of AIDS that we would see in the media, which usually wasn't flattering.
Instead, he created a news story, becoming an HIV and AIDS advocate.
The way information was provided for us in Upper Manhattan was so different from what was happening in Lower Manhattan.
Because it's the communities of color?
Yeah, and it was felt. We were treated differently.
In the 90s, Ortiz was integral in organizing GMHC's inaugural Latex Ball that still exists today.
I'm at the Latex Ball with Logo, and we are about to have a good time, y'all.
A resource fair for testing and programs wrapped up in what can only be described as a fashionable artistic extravaganza. Now almost 50 years old, Ortiz's advocacy continues to inspire new generations.
I really like to say Uncle Father and not just Father, because you know how uncles are more fun,
Friends,
or the auntie,
yeah.
they're more so aunties and stuff. So definitely an Uncle Father, because he's just so much fun.
Titus Gibson Jackson came to the city in 2018 only with the dream to be on Broadway. At GMHC, he found a sense of belonging.
Services, housing, everything that I didn't know that I needed. Did not even know that this was a thing in New York, moving from California.
Ortiz now oversees Project Vogue, a program that connects Black and brown young adults with HIV to the care they need.
After 10 years of not taking medication, 2 months I was undetectable, so I couldn't pass along anything to anyone.
We're on one nation under a groove.
When society chose to judge, the LGBTQ community advocated for themselves, creating physical spaces and emotional ones to exist fully, from AIDS Walk New York to the Latex Ball, choosing joy and celebration to honor how far they've come. Aundrea Cline-Thomas, CBS 2 News.
And the Latex Ball will return in person on June 18th, the first time since the pandemic. And this year's AIDS Walk is in Central Park this Sunday, May 15th. We will stream the opening ceremonies live on CBS News New York starting at 9:15 a.m.